Time's up. Drop everything. And if you're feeling drowsy, well, splash some water in your face. Grab yourself a buddy and unencumber the view so you can see more of life's funniest moments. You'll see a kid hit a tree, a dance show you just gotta see, an out-of-control rover, and a kid who tips over, a bubbly eye crusher, and an urban street musher are all some of life's funniest moments. Some things are worth doing just for fun, which is another way of saying you're not getting paid. Ah, the swing, the world's least complicated toy. Only two things can happen. You either swing and have fun, or you fall out and stop having fun. There's just no in-between. Other mop salesmen would just throw a little mud on the hardwood floors for the in-house demonstration, but not Bruce. Oh no, Bruce went all out. Bruce would flat out sully the floor by throwing down a cake with sparklers on it. Chocolate cake at that. You don't become the 7-time mop salesman of the year by playing it safe. Hit your wine glass with your knife and you get to see the bride and groom kiss. Hit the wine carafe with your head and you get to see stars. Oh yeah, that's gonna leave a mark. The benefit of skiing those out-of-the-way runs is that no one can see your klutzy and awkward moves. The downside is, there are a lot of trees. Rex is utterly baffled. What is that thing? It's too small to be a cat. It's too fast to be a mouse. So there's only one way to figure it out. Yeah, you hate to see that. The dance team in the back has sabotaged the team in the front. The old grease spot on the dance floor bit. The simplicity of it is actually ingenious. To save money, Charlie's dad bought him a bike with no brakes. When you want to stop, just hit something cheap, he said. Sadly, that takes a lot of the fun out of bike riding. We've all seen birds flying, and sometimes we've seen them walk a bit. But when they think no one's looking, birds do what they really love to do: dance. Reason number 138 not to play hide the ball from your dog during summer. because the bite marks on your stomach don't look so great at the beach. The guy at the garage told him it was a mistake to swap out his all-terrain vehicle engine with a chainsaw engine. Chainsaw engines wouldn't have the power to get up the hill. See? On the other hand, you should see his ATV cut wood. Walking your dog is a good time. Skateboarding is a good time. Walking your dogs while skateboarding is an awesome time. You know what's not awesome? Trying to stop. Never tell a kid to stop acting immature. He's a kid. That's his job. Little Tanya loved everything about going fishing. Being in a boat with other kids, the smell of the great outdoors. There's only one thing that Tanya didn't like about fishing. The fish. At first glance, this doesn't seem like a fair fight at all. That guy is twice the size of that little girl. But she knows the one move that'll even up any fight. As a kid, you really only have two obligations: eating and sleeping. Sometimes you have to multitask. Timmy had a lifelong dream to pet a dolphin. The dolphin also had a dream to splash an unsuspecting little boy. Some only get to live their dream once, but these two are twice as lucky. The first casualty in a water balloon war is always the little sister. And the second casualty? The little sister. Timmy's room was always a mess. Mommy just couldn't figure out why he refused to put his toys in the toy box until she put a hidden camera in there. That toy box was almost a Timmy box. Hey, what's up, Doc? Business. Ever since this cottontail started helping work the register. That's a lot of lettuce. Coming up, an inexpensive theme park and an out-of-control dog park. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments. Know why these people say Happy Holidays? 'Cause it's easier than saying Happy, Merry, Joyous Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Easter, Christmas. Hey everyone, it's Christmas! Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Oh, it's 11:59, not Christmas yet. Okay, let's wait. Okay, any minute now. Hey everyone, it's Christmas! Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Everyone was happy to see Santa until Paolo discovered he was on the naughty list. Sven got skis for Christmas. And he'll be getting a cast for New Year's. Kicking isn't very Santa-like. Well, neither is table dancing. Wait a second, that's not Santa. That's Larry from accounting. No wonder he was acting so silly. Some clips are just better when they're acoustic. And the winner of Ethel's Living Room Talent Show for the 21st week in a row, Ethel and her doggy balloon duster dance. Sure, the washing machine gives Timmy a giant headache, but it also gives him a lovely singing voice. Just listen to that vibrato. This couple really knows how to tango. And the big finish is the dip. Did I say dip? Because I meant slip. Hey, that looks like the Lone Ranger's horse, Silver. A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-ho. Ah, that's one Mino Palomino. That cork is going to hit him in the eye. That cork is absolutely going to hit him in the eye. It's going to hit him in the eye. I know it. Wow. I totally didn't see that coming. It's an interspecies feeding frenzy. What kind of food are they all going crazy over? Fish like worms, ducks like bread. Ah, it's worm bread. Delicious worm bread. Ah, look, a cute little baby. And what's this? The ferret wants to give the baby a kiss. That is the sweetest ferret ever. Stealing his pacifier, that is the rudest ferret ever. You hear it all the time. It's important to remember to keep your dog on a leash, but I guess no one ever adds the crucial second step. You've got to hold on to the leash. Because otherwise, you're not really walking your dog. Your dog is walking you. Coming up, a hug goes horribly wrong. And a layup is way too strong. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments. A friend is someone who will let you film them doing something silly and then send it to us for $100 and a t-shirt. Let's hope they never outgrow this behavior so Mom and Dad will save a fortune on toothbrushes. When Molly was a little girl, she wanted two things: a jack-in-the-box and a puppy. Well, now that she's older, she can have both at the same time. And she can have a party for herself every night. Dog may be man's best friend, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's the best choice for a nanny. This raccoon is entranced by the smell of feet. He'll chase a pair around for hours. Seems strange? Well, remember, this is an animal who lunches in garbage cans. So the aroma of feet is to him what the smell of a warm apple pie is to you. Parting after a wine-tasting class is not only sweet sorrow, it's dangerous. A good friend has always got your back. In this case, Rex is constantly getting on your back. Here's a duo that's set to shake up the music scene. It's their first song, La Horsaracha. This game is just like leapfrog, except instead of leaping, they're hopping. And instead of frogs, they're rabbits. And they're hopping over the front, not the back. So I guess it's actually nothing like leapfrog. Forget I said anything. You don't have to headbutt an opponent at the World Cup to be considered a poor sport. Check these guys out. Hockey players are built tough, and they have to be. Hockey is a rough game. You never know when you're going to get tripped or smashed into the glass or given a high five by a teammate. In football, the defender's job is to follow the ball carrier, then use his own body as a heat-seeking missile, taking down everything in his path. Unless, of course, what's in your path is the coach. Josie had no luck on the slopes. If there was only one tree within a 40-kilometer radius, she was bound to head right for it. Maybe Josie should take up snooker. In basketball playoffs, everyone has to step up to their game, and that means no one should be afraid to give a hard foul. Even the cameraman. All they wanted was to be the next Lords of Dogtown. But with moves like these, they aren't even the next Princes of Puppy Town. You know, you kids shouldn't play so rough. Someone's going to start crying. These videos are very funny, and if you're easily amused, they're hilarious. The Eskimos have 9 words for snow. But they don't have any word for fooling a penguin into chasing your shadow. But we do. Hilarious. Ever buy a fantastic Christmas present for a kid, spend hours building it, and then all he wants to do is play with the packaging? The same happens with ferrets. This cat is either the world's best feather duster spinner, or he's the world's worst housekeeper.
Go, Scotty.
Coming up, a real rockabye baby. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments. All he wanted was a recliner. But his parents wouldn't get him one because, let's face it, any chair Jeremy sits in is a recliner. See you next time.